Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ro, and today I'm going to be talking about Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist because last night my mom and I finished watching the first season, and yes, this is a review only of the first season because the second one is still not available in my country, and until it's available, I'm not going to be able to watch it because I'm not going to watch it illegally. I want to. I want to watch it, but I'm watching with my mom and she doesn't speak English. And usually in illegal sites, it's in English. But I want to wait. I want to wait because this is something we're both enjoying together. So that's really nice. So anyway, one thing you need to know is that I love this series. So far, the first season only has 12 episodes, and that was amazing. I went in knowing absolutely nothing except for the premise of the show, and I was blown away. So we're gonna talk about all of that, but let's roll those titles first, and then we continue on. So is Extraordinary Playlist. What is this show about? So, if you're coming in here and you have absolutely no idea about what this show is about, basically the premise is that this girl can hear people's thoughts, the most in thoughts, and she's able to listen to them, but in music form, which honestly to me it's an incredible premise, and it's so well developed. I thought I went into the show thinking that it was going to be super comedic and the whole thing, but it turned out to be quite a different thing to what I had pictured. But I was so surprised, and it is so wholesome that it was actually better than what I thought to be. Because usually, I don't know, these days I tend to go into a show and I think that I'm probably going to hate it or that I'm going to be disappointed in some way, but this one didn't disappoint in the least because it was awesome. So anyways, the show is about that. It's about Zoe, who's able to listen to people's thoughts in music form, which helps her out a lot, and helps her develop in a way that is actually great. Like I told you before, I'm only going to be talking about the first season. I have no idea what's going to happen in the second season until it gets out in my country. The thing that I did find out is that this series was cancelled. I am not happy about that. This had so much potential. Like, why? Why do you cancel it? Anyways, so let's get to it. So, the series starts with Zoe, of course, she's our protagonist, and we get to know how she hates the way in which she wakes up because her neighbor plays loud music. Her neighbor is called Mo, and she is awesome. Honestly, I love her, and her arc is also beautiful. Everything in this show is done with such a kind touch. You get me? It's done beautifully. That's all I need to say. But the thing is that, well, Soy hates that. She goes with Mo and tells her, "Well, couldn't you play this a a little not loud?" And Mo's like, "No, this is how I paint. This is how I work. Just live with it." Okay, so we get to know Zoe's family. We get to know her mom, we get to know her brother, and we get to know her father. And throughout the season, they get a development that it's just heart wrenching, but beautiful. Anyways, so we get to know Zoe's dad, who's sick. I think that he has ASL, but I'm not entirely sure of what disease it is. But the thing is that he cannot move any muscle, and the family is in so much pain because this just happened like so fast, and the whole thing. So this is something that just is heavy on them. The thing is that because of these, Soy was getting headaches or something like that, and her mom is like, your father didn't got these like from one morning to the other, so maybe you should go and check it out, check yourself out, make sure that you're all right and the whole thing. So he goes to hospital and decides to do an MRI. And while she's doing this, the guy that's doing the MRI, I think that he was, yeah, he had to be a doctor. Um, I was not paying that much attention to his part. That's why. Um, the thing is that he plays music for her, and then an earthquake happens and the machine goes crazy and music starts playing like crazy and 1,000 songs start playing all at the same time, because radiation and the whole thing, everything goes wild. So he goes out into the street, and what happens is that she starts listening to people's thoughts. I mean, like, but they are singing them, and that's crazy. Like I'm telling you, this is such a good premise for a show. But anyways, that's what happens. And she goes like, okay, this is weird. So she goes to work and the whole thing. We get to know Max, who is her best friend, and Max is in love with Zoey. I think we get to know that very, very near the beginning of the story. I mean, like, it's quite obvious because everybody knows. And Zoe likes another one of her co-workers, who is Simon. I'm gonna talk about this later. I think that throughout the story, Zoe gets to be developed, around her father's disease, how she's coping with the grief of what's happening, how she's getting to know more about her parents, and how she's getting to know about her family, because her power allows her to understand the things that they are not saying, and she, in that way, she can act upon that and help them a little bit. And although she thinks that she's making a mess, I think that she actually did so much good throughout the season, because she actually helped a lot of people. So that's the premise of the show. That's everything you need to know. And okay, from now on, I'm going to be talking spoilers. So if you haven't watched the series, please get the hell off. That's it. Now, onto the spoiler section of this review we go, and that means that I'm going to be ranting at random at different things and from different timings of the story, because I'm just like that and my head is a mess, which means these videos are a mess, and you're going to have to deal with that, because that's just the way I do things, because I do not script my videos, because that bores me. So you're gonna have to deal with this. Anyways, so throughout the first episodes, we get to know a whole bunch of different things about Zoe. And one about Zoe, about her family, about the people around her, and we get to see them being developed, into basically her thoughts. The thoughts, and the things that Zoe can hear because of her power. So this is amazing. And one thing that I was super surprised on the first episode is that we just got into like real deep, like super fast, because we got to know Simon, because he was singing quite a sad song, and he's always like super happy and like the life of the party and the whole of that. And so he hears him singing a sad song, and he's like, he is like really sad, and he gets to know that his father committed suicide, and that I mean, like, it hurts him so much because he couldn't do anything to help him, and this is something that develops throughout the season. It just hit deep, like, I was crying on the first episode alone, and that was, wow, quite a lot, and we get quite a lot from Simon throughout the entire season, because he's a very interesting character. So yeah, I'm not saying interesting because he's boring. I mean, like, I'm not super on board with him, but I like him. He's a nice guy. He's a indecisive nice guy, but he's a nice guy. Anyways, he's basically Zoe's crush, and she gets to develop a bond with him because of that. She tells him about her father, and he does the same in return, and they just become friends because of that. And that's a little healing for him, which is actually great. The thing is that we later get to find out that he's engaged, and a whole bunch of drama happens. A whole bunch of drama that to me wasn't necessary, but man, and things like that happen all the time. I don't know why. Yeah. So going back. On the first episode, also we get Zoe being no, Zoe's father sings to her, and he sings to her through colors, which was just God. It hurt because it made me cry, and I cried a lot, and I probably gonna spend the entirety of this video telling you how much I cried because of everything, because just everything hurts. Everything hurt, and then it was funny, and then it was enjoyable, and then the musicals were amazing, and the choreographies and everything that happened, it was just great. Then we get to know um David and his fiance. No, they are married. What are you saying, Rocio? They are freaking married. We get to know them. David is her brother, so his brother, and then Emily is of course David's wife. I had just completely forgotten. I don't know why. Anyways, we get to know them as well. They also have problems throughout the story because they're about to get they're about to get a son. Why would you word it like that? They're about to they're about to have a son, and that's a little scary for David, and they have a little problem, a little too many problems in their marriage, but they get to solve them, and so it's like she can hear them sing, and they sang a million reasons. Yeah, just a million reasons. Yeah, it's a Pink song. I don't remember the name. I always forget the name of that song. Probably one of the few songs that I always forget how is it called. I don't know why. Funny thing is that I love that song. The thing is that they sing that, and that's the first duet, so it listens to. So they were actually great. I mean, like every single person in this story was super amazing. I mean, like the singers, they were great. Then we also get to meet Joan, which is played by Lauren Graham. I think that everybody knows her because of Gilmore Girls. I have never watched Gilmore Girls. I know her from there, but I have never watched the story, so I have no idea if there was any side of a reference to that in the story. I didn't even realize. The thing is that I know her from there. Then we get Skylar Astin playing Max, which is Zoe's best friend, and I love him. I mean, like, of course, I met him on Pitch Perfect. I think that most people did. But if you met him through something else, that's amazing too. I haven't seen them on that many things, but he's awesome and he's adorable in this character because he's always best friend, and he's in love with her and the whole thing. And we're going to talk about that because they're my sheep. But I'm gonna leave it for the ending because we need to talk about other things. Okay, so what are the other things we need to talk about? We need to talk about Mo. Mo is such an incredible character that I don't know, I'm just so caught up by her. She's awesome. She's super musical. She just always teasing Zoe about how she's a mess and how her power is wasted on her because you don't even know that much about music. Like, you don't even know the songs you're listening to. You don't know how to appreciate them enough, and we get to know a whole lot of things, and then the first time Zoe hears her sing a song in her mind is about how she's pretending, and the whole thing, and how she isn't really happy and this and that. And I don't know, that episode just hurt a lot because we get to know that she's a trans girl, and she's, oh my god, I don't know, her character is just so well done and so beautifully put, and just I don't know. And also they touch religion in the same episode, and it's done in such a way that I'm I'm telling you, every single little topic that they talk about in this series, they did it so smoothly, and it was so kindly and well done that you just, I don't know, loved it. There is a moment in the series in which she gets to hear how the deaf child of the caretaker of her father, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Like, phew. She sings a fighter by, no, fight song. She sings fight song by Rachel Bladen, which is a song I completely love. What the fuck, my neighbors just screamed. Which is a song that I completely loved, and I don't know, she sings it in sign language, and that was just beautiful, and it was so perfectly and respectfully done, and I don't know, it's just, like I said, it's heartwarming, and it's wholesome. I don't know, just makes me happy that they took the time to do everything and just to weave every single thread. Thing is, I'm so happy that they decided to take the human approach, but not only did they take it, but they made it so seamlessly beautiful. Because let me tell you one thing, and this is one thing that I'm never gonna get tired of saying, because it is true and you see it everywhere and it just drives me nuts. Everybody wants to take the human approach, and everybody wants to write amazing characters, and they mostly fail. And they mostly fail because they forget that humans are all over the place. Humans are quite emotional, and they are flawed, and they have problems, and people tend to forget that, and they want to make them like completely perfect or completely a mess, and just one thing, and they just go like, it's either black or white with people, usually when they write. And that's horrible to me, because that's not human. That's not how humans work, and that's not what you should look after in a character. And if you want humanity, you just have to put layers in that. And I think that the layers are well put into the story, because you see them just express a long range of emotions, and you see how their bodies express them, and how they express the whole of these through music. And I think that that is just great, because in so many moments people just make the mistake of just, I don't know, making people express everything in words, and sometimes words are not enough, and sometimes actions speak louder, and you have to be able to talk in every single language. But I think that there is a breach in the language nowadays, not only in English but in Spanish and in every other language, that people just don't understand other people, that people have forgotten how to read, or maybe they have never learned how to do it. They don't read physical behavior anymore, they physical language actually. And there's so many things you can learn about a person because of how they behave and how they treat their bodies and how they walk and how the faces they make and the tone in which they're speaking. And I think that so much of that is being lost, and yet this series just does it great, because you get to see so many things of that, and that is why it's so greatly acted. Every single actor just expresses so much through their physicality, and I just love that. Does that word exist? Physicality is a word that exists, right? Oh my god. Anyways, so that's what I wanted to say. Now should we get to other things? Yeah, we should get to the lobby. So everybody's going to call it a love triangle. To me, it's not a love triangle, because a triangle is only completed when the two men also like each other, and these two hate each other's guts. So yeah, I wouldn't say that they hate each other's guts, but they don't like each other. That's definitely true. So we know that Zoe likes Simon, and that Simon is actually, well, this is not a lobby, this is like a love quartet, yeah. So Simon is engaged. Zoey likes Simon, Simon likes Jessica, but then Simon likes Zoey as well, and Max is in love with Zoey and with nobody else. So yeah, that. So because of this love quartet and quintet at some point, quintet is the right word. I'm gonna be asking all the time if it's the right word because I'm thinking of the word in Spanish, but I've never used it in English, so I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyways, so we're gonna get in a lot of trouble because of this. So let me explain to you how everything goes, and let me tell you my opinions. So I don't tend to be a person that usually likes romance, like it's the last thing on the list for me, but when it's well developed, I kinda like it. So I cannot complain about this. So, like I told you, this is like not a love triangle for me because it's not. And then there's other people involved, which is problematic at some point. But we're gonna get there. The thing is that even though some people were gonna be like are gonna be like, oh, this is a cliche. I never felt like it was a cliche because it was like really well done. It's not dramatic. It's just, like something that I don't know. Is it happening to me? Because it did happen. So, hmm. um, let me explain. So the first time, so I hears Max singing a song, a love song, is obviously to her, and she is super shocked, and she doesn't like it because she is obviously oblivious to this, and she can never figure that her best friend was in love with her, and that's troublesome, troublesome. So she basically sings she's a girl, which is a barista in the coffee shop they're always at, and she sees how she sings basically a song about being alone, and she's like, oh, let me present you to Max, and you'd probably do an amazing couple and the whole thing, and she starts avoiding Max because that's better. So Max and Autumn get together, and so it just gets rid of the problem, and throughout this time that Max is basically dating Autumn, she gets to develop her relationship with Simon and the whole thing. Simon, of course, we know that he is engaged. So a lot of trouble happens around there too, because sometimes they talk about things and they maybe flirt a little, and she feels so uncomfortable because yeah, she's doing something wrong and she starts feeling guilty. So it makes sense. And then yeah, shit happens. That's it. Shit happens. A wall of flowers goes on fire and shit happens. And yeah, Max breaks up with the Awesome because they're not working anymore, the whole of that. And eventually Simon just breaks up everything with Jessica, which let me tell you, that was probably the best song in the season and the best choreography. Like that was absolutely beautiful. I mean, like every single song was beautiful, but the choreograph of Simon and Jessica breaking up, that was just so heartbreaking and so well done and so well put. I was just amazed at that. So I don't know, it's just magic. That's it. So I'm all over the place right now because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get there. Don't worry. So the thing is that because of these things happen. Before Simon and Jessica broke up, so he had a day in which basically she was told that her father was not gonna make it because the medication wasn't working anymore, and she basically shuts down. And her powers usually tell her that you have to help the people that's singing out loud. Every person that's singing, you have to help them out because those are their feelings, and you need to help them cope with them. So what starts happening is that she starts singing out loud. That never happened before. She starts imagining these whole scenarios of her, in which she just sings her heart out, and she's the only one who's singing, obviously, in real life, and everybody's watching her like, what? But she cannot help it. you know, she's just there and she has to say it. So this is quite problematic for various reasons. Because, well, in her job, it doesn't cost her a lot. But in her life, with the guys, that's gonna be a problem. So, basically, Max helps her out on something, and she sings to him, I'm Yours, by Jason and Ross, and that was, you have no idea how happy I was at that moment. I was like about to start jumping on my place, like I was accelerated. That's it. I was just so happy because I like Max better. He's so nice and cute, and he's actually a great guy, but not in the sense of that everybody says, oh, he's just a good guy. No, he's actually awesome. He's funny and he's always there for her, and he's not expecting anything because he's always been respectful to her. I mean, like, he's always been in love with Zoey and the whole thing. I mean, like, he's not always been in love with Zoey, but since the moment he fell in love with her, he just kept his feelings to himself. He didn't put them out there, and he said, oh my god, you owe me. And I think that is a thing that I appreciate so much, because this guy never took advantage of her. I mean, like, she started pulling away from her just because she heard him sing, but he never said it out loud. I mean, like, he always kept it to himself. He was never, oh my god, you're so beautiful, or anything like that. He was not hinting at anything. He was just like, I respect our friendship, so this is gonna stay here with me. And I think that that's one of the things that I love the most about him, because he was just there. He was okay with the friendship, even though he's in love with her. And yes, it hurts, but it's my feelings, he took accountability for that, and he never made it hard on her, on any way. So that was great. So she sang I'm Yours to him, and that was one of the most romantic songs you can sing to someone, like, I mean, like, ever since that song came out, if you're gonna just make a love confession, you're gonna use that song, because that's how it works. That's how powerful that song is, And I was just like, they are endgame. If they're not endgame, I'm rioting, And my mom and I were talking throughout the season. We were talking about, how Simon was going to end up breaking up with Jessica and the whole thing, and maybe he was going to have a shot with Zoe, because that has to happen, because we have to make it complicated. And I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but it's how stories tend to go along. So anyways, on the same day after she sings that, she tries to go to a meditating room, and she comes across Simon, who's meditating, and she starts singing a song. But this is a sexy song, This is a song about desire, about wanting someone, and about wanting them to want you, and the whole thing, And Max comes in, and he hears Zoe singing to Simon, and he goes completely like, what? You sang this to me, and now you're singing this to him? And he goes like, yeah, check it out, because one song is about love and one song is about attraction, and you sang the love song to me, so I don't know, but you like two men at the same time, and yes, it is complicated, and I knew that was going to happen, but he gets angry basically because she made a love confession, and then she was like, but I'm hitting on this one as well. And I get how that could make you angry, because I mean, like, she wasn't communicating that to him before, I mean, like, it's not like they had that much time to communicate it. So that happens. So they get into a little conflict in here, and then it gets resolved, And at the end of the day, she basically, well, the reason why she had this problem of singing her feelings out loud is because she basically shone out. Like, when she heard her father's diagnosis, and how he had a couple weeks to live, she basically just shut out. That's it. And she needed to speak her feelings because she was hurting a lot, And Max ends up speaking to her, and he says, you spend the entire day telling your truths, how you feel about everyone, how you feel about our work, about the things about everybody, and you didn't lose your job, and nobody hates you. And she goes like, but you hate me. And he goes like, yeah, a little bit, but still, you should go and talk to your family and see how everything unfolds and the whole thing. And he's really supportive of her, and it's like half of him, the whole stuff. Anyways, so yeah, things happen. So after that, well, still things happen. The thing is that I'm going to be talking about them specifically because that's what I want to talk about. Now, they get three of the best songs there are. That's just it. Now, the next song happens like right after they have a movie night together, and she's like, yeah, I need more Max in my life, and the whole of that. And he sings to her, If I Can Have You by Shawn Mendes. You get me that this guy picked a Shawn Mendes song with, I'm telling you, like, Shawn is the one guy you go to when you just want someone to fall in love with you. If you want to conquer the heart of a girl, sing her Shawn Mendes. That's it. That's all you need. That's the most romantic gesture you can do to somebody. So the thing is that throughout this performance, she's thinking that, oh, this is happening in his mind. But no, he actually hired a flash mob to sing a song to her. Like, and he picked a Shawn Mendes song. And I was like, please marry him. This is the guy you want in your life. But she didn't. She ran away. That was the moment in which she basically told him about her power. This was before she even sang "I'm Yours" to him. So it was "If I Can Have You" by Shawn Mendes, and then she sang "I'm Yours" to him. And then in the last episode, he sings "All of You" by John Legend. Like, you get me? Like, that they got the two most romantic songs ever to be. If they are not in game, I'm quitting life. Like, I'm never watching a romance again. I'm never caring about a romance again if they are not in game. Like, I'm telling you, I need to watch the second season, but you cannot give them the best and the most romantic songs out there and not making this happen. So you better bitches not disappoint me. Anyways, so that happens, the story unfolds. Her father passes away, and a whole bunch of things happen, and it's very cathartic, and lots more of things happen that, are worth it to go and watch the story, because I cannot put everything here, even though I want to. I want to talk about everything. I will be talking for hours. But the thing is that let's close this up and just go with it. I'm Team Max. I'm all here for Max and Zoey. It's gonna be Endgame, or I'm never watching anything again in my life. I know the show has been cancelled, so I don't know what that ending was. So, yeah, shit. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to record the fanfic, don't I? Yeah, probably. Anyways, I just love the development of Zoe's family, and how everybody got a say, and how everyone was developed, throughout the story, and how everyone got to say what they were feeling and what they were experiencing, everything that was happening. It was just so, I don't know, I used this word before, but again, it was wholesome in so many ways. So that was it. I love every single character in this story, every single little story there was out there. Every single song that was put into the story was whipped perfectly into the story, because it just made sense. It's not like they picked songs at random. The songs made sense. they expressed everything the person was feeling at the moment, who was truly extraordinary. So I just love this show, and if you've watched this part of the review, you probably did as well. So please go in the comments and tell me what you thought about it. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you do like it. Talk to me in the comments. I love talking with people. Seriously, go and talk to me and tell me your thoughts and your feelings about the story. And I haven't watched season 2 yet, so please don't spoil me. I want to enjoy it, please. Anyways, that was it for today. Always remember to be positive, kind, and curious. That's my duty to live. So goodbye. The birds are telling you goodbye too, so